What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I am back with my all-new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, so I did not review last week's episode because I wasn't feeling well, but this episode we gotta talk about. So we are back with the embarrassment of Marquez going around telling everybody the situation, feeling left out, feeling triggered. He needs advice from people he don't know, how to navigate co-parenting and how to navigate this situation. And when Ken was thanking everybody for coming out to celebrate their kids and we're happy, we the parents, it was edited to make it seem as if he left out Marquez, but he really didn't leave out Marquez. And even if he didn't, Marquez was still going to present himself in front of everybody, which is him telling everybody he the pappy. And it's like, stop acting like you're trying to be excluded. You're not excluded, sir. And please, scale back when you telling everybody everything. It's weird, and you want everyone to feel sympathy for you and feel sorry for you when you explain the situation, but it's like, nobody feels sorry for you. Even the viewers who kind of got maybe the whole story still don't feel sorry for you, okay? So now we see Trish, she's about to explode because she doesn't like the things that he does. He is seeking attention. He is, okay? Now, I do think that Marquez triggers Trish on purpose. I think he wants it to make it seem as if he ain't doing nothing, she's doing the most, right? And it's bothering her, okay? So while watching the whole thing go down, it's very awkward, it's embarrassing, but yet it's hard to look away, and it's like, how do we go about this? So Mela's like, there's a whole lot of interesting conversations happening right now. So speaking of interesting conversations, she's now about to talk to Maurice because he's at the same table with her. She tells him, I have had conversations with other people in this group pertaining what occurred to your DUI, and she tells him that it was embarrassing, disappointing, and irresponsible with the way he reacted after getting released from the DUI. You know how it was a huge celebration, it was a big party afterwards, and I felt like it was a bit distasteful. And for that to be a response, and I felt like it could have been handled better, handled appropriately, if you had a different reaction. And she's telling him, from the type of person that Maurice has presented himself to be, level-headed, he always got words of wisdom, for you to act so cavalier about something that was so serious, it really made me feel some type of way. And while trying to open up to him about how it made her feel, the way he reacted after getting a DUI, she told him, I lost my grandmother to a drunk driver. He immediately cussed her off and got on the defense and said, let me stop you right there. Do you know what actually happened? She said, based on what the police report said, unless the police report was false. He said, yeah, because nobody was there. I was there. No police officer was there? No, nobody was there. I was there. That makes no sense. So why don't you tell me what you know, since you knew everything? She said, hold up now. Wait a minute now. Your tone changed from, I'm telling you how I felt, the way you reacted after you getting a DUI. And so Maurice, out of her telling you how disappointed she was and how wrong you was about reacting after getting a DUI, what did you hear? Because you're saying, well, let me know what evidence you know. She never said nothing about evidence. She just told you after seeing you getting on live, getting celebrated after getting released from prison, and you went back to the same place that brought you to getting the DUI, that was a problem. And shout out to whoever posted the live feed from Instagram that showed Marceau yelling and screaming, I told you he was gonna get out, free Reese, free my nigga Reese. You hear Tisha in the background, Funky Dineva's there celebrating, like, bruh, let's not act dumb. Because everybody was talking about how you acted after getting released from prison, wearing the same exact clothes, partaking in the same exact activities that led you getting a DUI in 12 o'clock in the afternoon, sir. So, and while him getting questioned, he's in the confessional and he just speaks. All Maurice does is just talk, okay? And I don't understand what he's trying to say by Mel being omnipresent and how she's omniscient. And if she keeps on going this way, she's going to become a deity. What are you trying to say? Is it going to end up worse for her because she's asking you questions? She's poking her nose in your business as if you haven't poked your nose in hers? Make it make sense for me. So he wants to create a diversion to avoid talking about he got the DUI. But she brought it back and says, it's a fact. You got arrested for DUI, correct? Yes. My main point is I would have thought you have had a better response. Considering from the person that I know you to be, and how you like to represent yourself, being a reincarnated Martin Luther King with all these quotes and speeches and everything, I would have thought you would have been more approachable and been more grateful by saying, oh my God, this could have lost my life. I made a mistake. You didn't do that. And he got frustrated and defensive and condescending and started to gaslight her by saying, so I'm not going to allow your opinion to dictate my life. And all these loaded words, these loaded statements you're using. It's like, first of all, Maurice, I need you to calm down. Okay? Because I felt like this is something you should not get frustrated about. But since you are getting frustrated, that means you feel guilty, but you wish nobody would bring it to your attention. Because I said it before in my other video. The Scott brothers never hold each other accountable. They just sweep it under the rug. They act like it never happened. And everybody's supposed to follow the same routine, same protocol of never calling them out. And that's not Mel. Mel's not going to just allow you to gaslight her as if what she's telling you is wrong, because she's not wrong. Okay? And she's not trying to dictate your life. She's telling you how it made her feel when you reacted after getting a damn DUI. What is the problem? What aren't you getting? This is the problem with the Scotts. They think they know everything. They think they have the right to tell other people what they're wrong about, but they can never accept when they're wrong about something. They don't know how to handle constructive criticism, okay? And you're being fucking obtuse as the way the situation is represented. You're being a dumbass right now. And she even talks to him about how she's taken advice from him in the past. He says, no, I have. No, you haven't. She says, yes, I have. And let me also tell you this, though, Maurice. You expressed your disappointment in Melody when she made a song about Martell. Well, Melody is an artist, and artists do talk about their life experiences in music. And since Martell has been the biggest hurt she's ever experienced, she made a song about the hurt she endured. So you can't get mad at her for revealing the hurt in a song, just like y'all can get mad at her for revealing that Martell has cheated on her. Get the fuck out of here, Maurice. And you had egg on your face when you wanted to tell Mel she's never been a friend to Kimmy when she has shown up for Kimmy. Get out of here, Maurice, okay? Now, what's so funny though, Kimmy, while you're trying to be mindful and you're trying to be on standby watching Mel voice her opinion to Maurice, you want to say, we're going to keep it cute, and I don't want it to go out of hand, but you've allowed for everything else to go out of hand. When Melly and Martell were going back and forth, when he was being aggressive, he was yelling, doing the most. Y'all never stepped in. No, y'all watched it happen. But now you want to be on standby because Mel is telling your husband he was wrong with the way he acted after getting a DUI? Fuck out of here, Kimmy. And this is the manipulative gaslighting shit that I can't stand when it comes to the Scott brothers, okay? Because you're not listening. She's trying to hold you accountable, but you want to turn around and say she's projecting on what happened to her grandmother. No. She's not looking at you as you're the one who took her grandmother's life. That is not what she's doing. She's telling you, I've had personal experience of losing somebody through drunk driving. And for somebody that I had a lot of respect for, reacting in that way, that hurt my feelings. That's the whole point. You trying to project onto her as if she's projecting onto you that she's looking at you as the guy who took her grandmother's life, and that is not what she's doing. That is not what she's doing. The fact that you're overlooking the severity of how driving under the influence is dangerous is crazy as hell to me. Okay? You making it seem as if Melody is wrong for telling you that it's wrong for her to feel away at how you respond after getting DUI. It's wrong for me to tell you that you were wrong for the way you acted. It's wrong. Oh, I cannot take it. The Scott brothers have always rationalized and justified their decisions to avoid taking full accountability. It has been the same since season 1. I mean, we've seen the way they've gotten out of answering direct questions and holding themselves accountable when their own wives do it. And Melody has been a witness to it, and she knows you can't turn that same charm on me because I can call it out, right? Because that's exactly what he wanted to do, which was create an argument to make it seem as if Mel is in the wrong, and now he is saying that she is attacking his character. It's like, how is she attacking your character? Like, first of all, Kimmy, get your husband. The way she was laughing, she's like, woo, I see why you got a problem with this man right here. All I'm doing is letting you know how the way you acted made me feel, and now I'm attacking your character. Because all these big words that I use, oh, me being disappointed, me saying how embarrassing it was, me saying you were irresponsible, those are such big words that I've hurt your ego so bad that I attacked your character. Okay, Maurice, sure. Can't take it, okay? I really cannot. I'm attacking you. Ooh, girl. Destiny, nobody gives a damn. Okay, you want to be like, I'm watching Maurice and Mel go back and forth. I can see Kimmy. Kimmy is pissed. And I'm like, you're not going to stand up for your man. But then, whenever it comes to Mel, you going back and forth with her. It's never ending. It's never resolved. It's never this. It's never that. Destiny, shut the fuck up. No, it's the opposite. When you go back and forth, it doesn't get resolved. It doesn't get cleared up. You keep it going, just like Martell keeps it going. Y'all not about to make it seem as if Melody has a hard time understanding a conversation or know how to handle a conversation that leads to a resolve, when all of y'all don't know how to handle a conversation with it being led to a resolve. Y'all can miss me, okay? And I do believe that Kimmy is enjoying secretly watching him get questioned like this, because she's not going to do it. No, she's going to be in her high, sweet, soft, demure voice to appease his ego, to gently tell him how wrong he was. Instead of being straight up and wondering where the fuck was he and why wasn't he at home, because she doesn't want to do that. We've seen the way Kimmy used to be all proud and strong and independent, but for some odd reason, she shrinks whenever it comes to holding herself in a higher standard, to stand up for herself and use her fucking voice to tell her husband what he should and shouldn't be doing. I really cannot. So now he wants to corral everybody, have an audience to present himself to be a victim because Melody's came out of nowhere. No, she presented it to you by telling you she had conversations with everybody around about your DUI. She didn't just come at you and say, Maurice, you're wrong. Why did you do that? You didn't do that. No, that's not what happened, Maurice. That's not. Okay? She came to you directly and told you how she felt from beginning to end, and you couldn't handle it. You could not handle it. You didn't like it. And then the way that he had this look on his face, it was that same look that Marceau does. And it's that look that they feel like they have the ability to overpower you. They have the ability to win. It's like, you can't go toe-to-toe with me in this type of game. Like, they think they have the grand power of intimidation, but they're using it on the wrong person. You can't use intimidation tactics on Melody. She's already been through that with Martell. She knows how to catch y'all, but y'all wives don't know how to do it. They are afraid to play the intimidation game with y'all. So for you to want to flip it and say she was being condescending, no, you was being condescending. I can't take this man. I really can't. No, Maurice has got to go. Bob has got to go. Bob the minion has got to go. Gru has got to go. I don't have time. He was just blowing smoke in the confessional to say, I think Melody's just still looking for love. You know, I think, she's all about peace, but I think she likes to thrive in negativity. And, I don't know where she'll find it. I fell out laughing the way he wants to say Melody's still looking for love, as if Melody is down and out and lost because she doesn't have Martell anymore. Look at Melody. Melody can get any guy that she wants. And I'm sick of y'all trying to make it seem as if Melody is not happy. Melody's life is great. She's just doing her job, asking questions. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing else but calling you out for the activities you partaked in that led you getting a DUI, and that it was revealed on social media that you had a big party to celebrate with liquor, which led you getting a DUI, as I'm going to keep on repeating myself about. That's the whole point. You turn it around, make it about male still looking for love, male likes to thrive in negativity. No, y'all like to thrive in negativity. Y'all can't stand it when things are peaceful, okay? And to say, me and Mel have always stood where we stood. I don't know what that means. Are you so upset because she called you the least relevant? Let me know. Like, it's real crazy. And the rest of the cast are just watching the whole thing and not saying nothing. As if y'all don't know Maurice's tactics as well. Why y'all quiet for Maurice? Why? We can't act like we didn't see this. We can't act like nobody covered the mugshot, the story. Y'all are crazy as hell right now. I really cannot do this. I cannot. Ooh, moving on from that. Moving on, because I can't deal with that. So we got Marquez. He's still trying to find a table where he can, spill all of his feelings, and he sits down with everybody who's a part of the cast to discuss how he feels. He's feeling triggered, and he's in his feelings right now. He's asking people how to co-parent, people who don't even know him. And he's asking for help. And it's just so freaking weird. It's just like, Marquez, please stop. Then we see his son eavesdropping and taps him on his shoulder and pulls him to the side and tells him to relax. Don't put yourself in this type of situation, on this type of role. Meaning, I'm already embarrassed that you and my mom are on this show talking about your relationship, talking about the situation, and you're not making it any better when you want to keep on telling everybody every 5 minutes about how this makes you feel, and you're not holding yourself accountable for what you've done. You know what I'm saying? Like, his own son, 18 years old, knew how to be the mature one in this situation. Knew that this is very awkward. This is very tense time. Everybody is on high alert. Everybody got a lot of emotions in this. But I think you need to pump the brakes. I think you need to stop. And his son was right. Even if he didn't say everything, just his whole demeanor expressed, he's embarrassed about how things have acted. He's embarrassed about how things have been presented. And you're not doing him any favors when this is supposed to be about him, your daughter, celebrating their accomplishments of one graduating from high school, moving on to middle school, and you're making it about you and how this makes you feel. That's not cool. That's not right. Okay? And I agree. Let the focus be about the kids. So then we get Ken. Ken is now done. Okay? He didn't like Marquez's attitude from beginning to end. He's coming in thinking he's, the head of the household. He corrals all the men to toast to being fathers and everything when it's not his place. Bro, you didn't put no end on this event. You did not help set up this event. You came in ready to make everybody feel sorry for you. So Ken said, listen, I don't have an issue with you, and I don't want us to act like we can't move forward because I don't have a problem with you. Marquez is still projecting about how he got everything, okay? He got Trish, he got the kids, he got the household, the white picket fence. He has it all, right? But I feel like, Marquez, that's something you didn't want anymore. You left your family, so it gave an opening for anybody to come in and be that knight in shining armor for Trish and your children, okay? And Ken told him, I'm just here to assist, okay? I can't take over your job because I'm not their father. You're their father. But as far as us moving forward, that's on you. And at this point, I'm going to get tired of talking about what we need to do because if you're not going to do your part, I'm going to keep on doing me. Because all I need to do is make sure the kids are good, Trish is good, this household good. I'm paying all the bills. That's my main focus, okay? And while Marquez, he's all about, I hear you though, but I feel like it's an overcompensation on your end because I'm wondering, can you even have children? Which is a question. Ken, you are doing a lot when it comes to raising children that is not yours. I already listened to your interview with Millie Chan. You have been a adopted father to your ex's daughter since she was 2. So you do have years of experience under your belt when it comes to raising kids. So you knew what to do when you got in Trisha's life and got introduced to her children. And I never understood your real reason why you didn't want to have kids. But either way, while Ken can have his own reason of not wanting to have children, it's not taking away how Ken did show up more than you did, Marquez. That's what he did, okay? Because it's nothing wrong with him wanting to spread the love and care that he believes children deserves. Because if their own father isn't doing it and he's available to do it, why wouldn't he do it, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm here because you didn't want to be here. And he said, as a man, you have obligations, you have duties, and there's no excuse why you cannot do them. And he feels like from when I was raised, if there's a man coming into your household, you had that initial conversation with that person when it comes to you knowing who's around your children. Okay, Marquez, that's a fact, but you weren't there for the conversation. You weren't around. So you can't get mad over a conversation you weren't around to have as far as who's coming into your household, who's being around your kids, who's around your wife. You left that door open for Ken to come in. So sorry, bruh, that's on you that you didn't show up enough to be there for your kids. You didn't present yourself to be there as a present father. That Ken could easily come in and be a much better parent than you were. My bad, okay? He has a point. So now we move on to Trish, Kimmy, and Tisha. Tisha's meeting up with them to get the 401 woman down at the barbecue because she wasn't there. She's missing in action. And let me also give you a compliment, Tisha. That pink feather dress you wore in your confessional with the middle part highlighted look, gorgeous, gorgeous. Kimmy was all too happy to discuss how Trish behaved at the barbecue and also how Marquez behaved as well. How he was telling everybody the whole story, presenting himself to be the victim, and pushing her buttons. Then they also discussed how Trish was getting frustrated with Mel and that she was talking about wanting to slap Mel. And I'm like, slap Mel, what? So she's talking about being annoyed about the questions that she asked about Trish and which house did she go to when she was having her little rendezvous with Martell. And Melly wanted to know which one it was because she also said, I'm going to slap Martell and I might end up slapping Mel. Trish, you're not going to carry that same energy because you didn't carry that same energy when Mel was asking you questions left and right and you couldn't answer not one of them. So for her to feel a way about Mel asking questions about what house did she go to, because it could have been one of her homes, and she's telling them, I mean, if you don't care, why would you be wondering what house I was at? And for Tisha and Kimmy, they're like, oh my God, why would she be asking you about which home you were at? Like you were at her house. Why would she be wondering about that? As if y'all did not want the answer. As if she didn't go. Y'all wanted to know if she did go to his house. And which house was it? And was Mel still in the picture? Because this happened around the time Mel was still with Martell before she left. So why are y'all acting confused as if it was wrong of Mel to ask, but y'all still wanted to know the situation? Y'all can miss me with that. And Kimmy is like, well, you did ask these questions before in St. Thomas, so you weren't caring at that time, but then decided to come back and ask her again. It almost seems like you care. No, y'all are just thinking one-dimensional about this, and y'all think it's about Martell, and it's not. This lady has lied this entire time when she was presented to the group by a friend who left her hanging to dry. A situation got revealed. Everybody had their own private conversations about it without letting Mel know what type of conversation was being presented until we get to the trip where y'all wanted her to be blindsided with this information and wanted her to get a reaction out of it, and it didn't work. So Mel had to ponder and come back and wonder, was all of these questions and all of these narratives already being presented before I invited you on the trip? And yeah, so you never thought to come and ask me or come and tell me that there's been something old being brought back up like it's brand new information and I didn't want it to be this big. I didn't want it to go out this way. So I'm letting you know I don't have no problem with you, and I'm not going to present myself to act like I have a problem with you because I don't know you. But everybody else is egging on this situation as if it's brand new and it's not. They're the ones who had the conversations. They're the ones who have their own opinions about it, and I don't. You never thought that can eliminate you for being a part of the plan that all of them had with bringing up this information to Melody? Okay. I'm just saying, because it's bullshit for Tisha and Kimmy to want this information to be presented, but yet thinks it's weird for Mel to ask. Make it make sense. And Trish, do you even know what grilling means? Because I feel like you're only using these loaded words towards Mel, because I don't think you actually had the proper understanding of how to infiltrate this group. I think you were probably told only to be friends with certain people and thought that Mel was going to be a hard person to get along with. Turns out the people who you decide to link up with aren't really your friends. And it was simple questions that she asked before, because she also asked her about what happened that day Maurice got arrested and they were there. And did y'all think that he was well enough to drive? She said while burying her head in her food that he thought everybody was okay to drive. Okay, did y'all go to another club? Because Melody wasn't there. You were. And this was something that happened all over social media. And who else was a part of it? So her asking you shouldn't have been an issue. And Kimmy's like, why is she grilling everybody? She's been grilling everybody. What's the purpose of her grilling everybody? Because it happened on social media, Kimmy. And everybody has had conversations about it. Everybody has had questions about it. And you guys are on a reality show. So why is it a bad thing for Mel to ask questions about something that she wasn't there, but everybody has had something to say about her shit when they weren't there? So what's the problem, Kimmy? I don't understand. And Tisha not relaying messages correctly by adding the conversation he had with Mel about wondering if there was any type of red stain or lipstick on his mugshot photo. And Kimmy is getting annoyed, don't know why, but she had to tell her that Mel did talk to her first. And she didn't say nothing about that because you weren't talking about it, Kimmy. You weren't in that time to discuss anything about the situation because you were so embarrassed about it. So because you didn't get the conversation Mel has had with everybody else, don't make it seem as if she's creating something different when she could have had that conversation with you, but you didn't want to have it. So Kimmy, let's keep it all the way 100 by saying you would have took it better had she told you what she thought. I don't think so, because you was too busy trying not to answer any questions. You were too embarrassed and ashamed to say anything. You were still processing everything. But my thing is this, you never allowed Mel to process everything. You was too busy asking her questions. That's like y'all did earlier this season about Martell's arrest and what occurred to the RP case that y'all already were aware of. She told you without hesitation. She didn't hide anything about it. She wasn't tight-lipped about it. She told you everything from beginning to end of what led to this. As if y'all didn't know. Y'all just wanted to be sure she was going to actually tell you, and she was. Like, you can fucking miss me, okay? So after that, she now wants to express her concern about how it don't feel like Melody was reaching out to see how she feel out of concern. She just wanted to talk about the situation. She's wanted to get the tea. Just like there have been plenty of times where Mel thought y'all was coming to her out of concern, out of worry of what she's been dealing with Martell. Turns out all y'all wanted to know was the mess as well. So good for the goose, good for the gander, Kimmy. Melody is literally turning a y'all on a y'all. Like she's asking questions, she's forming her opinions as if y'all haven't done the same thing to her all this season. Y'all have asked questions, y'all formed y'all opinion about situation, and y'all never took what she told y'all at face value either. So you can fucking miss me with that shit, okay? And Kimmy, she says that it's Melody's plot in life, see that everybody else is cheated. Y'all really think that Melody is about y'all life like that? Like she cares so much about your situation? No. Melody is doing her job because she's on a reality show. We're talking about situations that have occurred while the course of filming. Everybody got social media. Everybody has gotten information about everybody, and we're talking about it. Y'all can't make it seem as if she's doing the most by trying to create a story when y'all been trying to hide y'all story this entire time. And I've already said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Y'all all knew what Martell's been doing for years. It is so laughable how Kimmy can be upset about conversations being said about her as if y'all have not done the same thing to other people. And I'm going to bring you another example. May she rest in peace, Kiki. When Kiki's Crime Stopper photo got revealed, y'all all took the opportunity to talk about her in a negative way. Tisha first opened up the scene to bring about Kiki's past drug addiction. You made a comment about how Maurice not that kind of attorney as a joke. Turns out the kind of attorney your husband is the kind of attorney who did not come prepared for his own lawsuit because he can't handle comments being said about him. So you can fucking miss me. All y'all took turns talking about Kiki. All y'all made nasty comments about her. When that situation happened, y'all didn't even give her the opportunity to reveal what was true, what wasn't true. Y'all already said she was guilty. So whatever you get, Kimmy, is what you get. But Tisha reminds Kimmy about how we're trying to move forward in this group, right? So we have agreed that what's being said does not fester, does not get spread to other people. We bring how we feel to that person. So that's what Kimmy is about to do. But then they all talk about how Melody never likes negative things being said about her, how she handles things, how she speaks about things. They talk about she don't know how to handle these things versus everybody else. Y'all can't handle when negative things are being said about y'all. Y'all can't handle when people talk about the way y'all have handled situations and the way y'all husbands have embarrassed y'all. Y'all can't handle it. And Trish, you are a bandwagon ass bitch. I do think you don't know how to be yourself in this type of situation. I think you're falling behind what you want people to expect you to be. You give people pleaser to me. You tell everybody what they want to hear in order for you to still be accepted, because you said that you don't know Mel that well to see if she could be called hypocritical, but you feel like Mel don't know how to take a dish of her own medicine because Melody called you out for something you couldn't handle, and thinking that applies to you, saying she's not someone who can handle being told how she is, which is bullshit to me. No, Melody can handle her stuff being thrown back at her, and she can take accountability versus everybody else on this cast. Everybody on this cast don't know how to take accountability. They don't know how to accept their wrongdoing, you included. And Kimmy talks about Mel's forcing something to be a real thing because she's saying that she saw this and saw that, but she didn't see that because he was where? With me. You were there. So why are you making it seem as if it was something else when he was with me? But Kimmy, you said in the kitchen with Maurice that you woke up and found out he wasn't home. You thought he went to work. And if he never made it home at the time you thought he was supposed to go to bed, he might have slept at the office. You left the house, went to Credit One, turns out he wasn't there. So where was he? If you did not see him since that event, then you don't know where he was. He wasn't with you. So at that point, you spazzing out with your natural hair is given. You're getting mad at Melody bringing out a scenario that you did not want to accept could have been the situation because he wasn't with you. Then why did you have to wake up in the middle of the night to find him if you thought he was home? Turns out he wasn't home and he wasn't at work. So with that, Kimmy, you can fucking miss me. Now we get Nell and Chris, very, very small. Nell and Chris are doing a fencing exercise, and Nell is not really happy about celebrating her 30th wedding anniversary because she's upset about the time that she had to bail her son Chris out of jail. He's been to jail 3 times, and in those 3 times, she has bailed him out with money that she was saving for the vow renewal, and what's left and versus what she had in mind to plan and have everything be ready for it is like it got busted. I can't have the wedding vow renewal that I wanted with how much I was willing to pay for it. And Chris was like, it's not as if I won't be able to help out or I won't be able to give you what you want. But for Nell, I think it was an independence thing. Like this was something as a woman. I wanted things to be done a certain way. Money was no option for me. And to have to downsize about it, that would suck. And I'm also calling out Nell for you feeling like this because it was on your own doing that you did decide to spend your own money to get your son out of jail multiple times. You have paid to help your son get into a better situation after he made a mistake. And you're mad about what you decided to allow. And Chris, he talks about how Nell do deserve to have the wedding vow of her dreams. She's been a very great wife for all these years, a great mother. She's a beautiful businesswoman. And also, there's another reason why the money could not be the only thing affecting her decision. She talks about her mother passing away around her 25th anniversary. And her mother was her best friend, and she could talk to her about anything, so she doesn't feel right about celebrating her anniversary if her mother isn't there. And Nell is still grieving her mother. You know what I'm saying? And Chris thought he had a great idea by having all of the kids come and go to her grave and drop flowers off. She didn't want that. I don't know if Nell haven't been to her mother's grave to drop off flowers, to talk to her, you know. And she walks out crying because she said, I'm tired of crying, I'm tired of grieving. And now I think we have finally unlocked the missing piece of Nell's frustration and anger. She is still grieving the loss of her mother. Not to say that there's a time for you to stop grieving, but it does make sense as to why she got upset over the name change, the name card, and how she gets upset over what her kids haven't been doing. Like she pretty much punishes herself for allowing her kids to skate by life without learning how to be independent, and they're asking her for help. She accepts that they want her help. She gives them the help, but then gets mad about her not setting boundaries or what happens after she's helped them, about paying her back, reminding them about, I don't just give this out because I can give this out. Like, this is money I've made and worked hard for me and your father. I don't think I have the ability to just give and give and give. So that's something that Mel needs to also seek help on as well. And she do need to seek counseling from a grief and loss counselor. The mentor needs help, okay? And she's tired of looking crazy. She just wants to be happy. And I do think that a lot of people can relate to Nell in this when losing a loved one. And I've lost a grandparent, and I've lost aunts. I've lost a cousin. My husband have lost his mother and grandmothers. So I can understand that as well. But I do think this is the reason why Nell acts the way that she acts, because she's lost without her mother. And we're going to move on. So now we get Trish. Trish meets up with Marquez to discuss some things. Their kids were supposed to meet, but her daughter ended up not feeling well. And the son, he just didn't want to come. So Marquez talks about it was the first time being at their home and having that celebration. And Trish goes off by saying it was a first for them to celebrate a big shindig like that at their first home. It was a first time for their son to graduate in that home. A lot of firsts. I think that whenever Marquez likes to make it seem as if he's been left out on purpose, how a lot of things are becoming brand new for him to understand, Trish is also telling him, it's brand new for me too. You act as if I don't know how this could be something new for the kids to experience or something for me to experience. Like, it's not just about you. And he is like, you know, coming down from the heated conversations, and then felt like they're playing in his face. And Trish was like, you're not about to play me as if everybody's been doing this just to hurt you. And he said, well, can y'all stop talking about me not being there? Can y'all stop talking about how I was not a good father? But it was revealed the last episode, Marquez, that you were not there. You said you were gone the last 2 years, financially, physically, emotionally. So you already have said you weren't a present father when you needed to be there. So they're not doing it on purpose to paint you out to be a bad person when you're doing that yourself, when you've admitted it. So now he's being triggered. How y'all gotta stop talking about me. Y'all gotta stop doing this and doing that. It's like, bruh, stop. Don't do that. Like, he really wants to contradict himself about how he needs to just show up, and he's not showing up. You think that just calling every day, is you showing up, and then he brings out, don't make it seem that I left him after 6 years. But that's what you did, though. You did leave after 6 years. You did. You left. You admitted it that you left. So you can't get mad that Trish isn't defending your absence as if she was supposed to when you left her as well. Like, you can damn miss me. So he wants to manipulate and make it seem as if the kid's lifestyle would not have ceased if he was there. Like, you think that the kid's lifestyle would have changed if I wasn't there? Wrong, it wouldn't, because I was there. But she cuts him off and says, no, it's because of me. I took care of everything. Everything was on me. I made sure that our kid's lifestyle didn't change when you left. Because he really wants to make it seem as if Trish wouldn't know what to do to take care of herself and the kids if he was there. And if also he's not there, she wouldn't know what to do. No, she knew exactly what to do. Like, Marquez really expected for Trisha's life to be up in shambles. Like, he thought she'll be left without a Penty or a Pinto to figure out how she can handle raising 2 children and herself. Turns out she did, all before Ken came into the picture. And when he came into the picture, he added in what she was already doing by herself. Like, Marquez, you need to just stop projecting and stop making it seem as if Trish was wrong for moving on from her life when you left. Okay, like, Marquez needs counseling. Okay, he just threw out something to get Trish riled up, and she took it, and now she's going off, and he's like, Trish, stop. Trish, you need counseling. Like, I feel like you weren't raised to be a good wife. And like she told him, you weren't raised to be a good husband. What husband leaves his wife when she lost her parents and also lost a sibling, and she's in need of emotional support that you even said yourself you didn't know how to be there because you never lost somebody before? And I've said it before, you don't have to know what it feels like to lose somebody to show sympathy and support. You didn't know how to be a good husband. You weren't emotionally available. It's like that whole nagging that he does to make it seem as if Trish was in the wrong for moving on with her life, and that she never stopped and be like, what about him? What about him? Miss me, Marquez. Miss me, okay? And it's the same question every time. What does it look like for them to move forward? Just show up. Show up. Call if you're in town. If you know your kid's schedule, ask if you can pick your daughter up from school and take her to dance practice. Ask if your son needs help doing stuff. Just show up. That's all you gotta do. Just be there. So now he's trying to figure out how he can maneuver being in Atlanta and also being in Huntsville. Even though there's more opportunities in Atlanta, it's always best for the kids. She's okay with that. Do what you gotta do. She even made a crack about maybe he can afford to move to Huntsville versus how he could afford to live in Atlanta. And I'm trying to understand, is he broke? I mean, from what Trish and Ken have said, he does have a job, but is it not sufficient enough for him to have a great home or something? I just want to know. But either way, all she expects from this man is to show up. Whether or not Ken is going to be in the picture or not, she said he's not going anywhere. All you need to do is show up. I'm gonna move on because we now get to the end of Kimmy and Mel having their conversation because they're keeping their promise of expressing how they feel towards one another and not let it fester, not let it linger on. And she didn't like the way how there been conversations about Maurice's DUI. But I feel like, how do you think Mel felt when there were conversations being said about Trisha and Martell that she didn't know, and she was completely in the shock and in the unknown when it was revealed on the girls' trip, Kimmy? How did you think she felt? So she is doing what Kimmy do, talking hands and using big words about how there have been a lot of conversations pertaining to his arrest. And it's so interesting because I had a conversation with Tisha and Trish and how they were, in those types of conversations with you, asking them of their whereabouts and what occurred. And Melody was like, I mean, yeah, it's been all over the internet. So yeah, I did ask the question. And when it came down to asking about the red stain on his lips, on his mugshot, she thought it was out of pocket because she even repeated what Tisha said when Melody showed his mugshot, and how she was like, do you see this? Like there was red mark on his lips. Do you see how they said he might have had this on his lips, on his collar? For Kimmy to repeat the conversation Tisha had with Mel, you definitely know what's been said, right? And while that's out of pocket, I think it was out of pocket for you, Kimmy, to not call the mistress by her name, which is exactly who she was. And I do think that it was out of pocket for you to not give Melody the benefit of the doubt of understanding why she had a valid reason to file a warrant on Martell when you all know the real reason why. There's been a lot of things out of pocket, but Melody repeating information about what everybody might have said when his mugshot got revealed, how people were dissecting the photo, that's out of pocket? Okay. She said it is public knowledge that he got arrested, but that part about the lipstick wasn't friendly. And she was wondering, why did you say that? Why did you say that? And Melody said, to be honest though, I didn't care to have this conversation with you because I don't recall you telling me to wait until all the facts were out. Like, you pretty much gave me the feeling that you weren't going to talk about it. And since you weren't going to talk about it, I backed off. Because, Kimmy, you were not ready to have that conversation. She did start to ask you, when did he get arrested? Was it in the middle of the day? You didn't want to talk about it. So since you didn't want to talk about it, Melody left you alone because it was sensitive. This has something to do with your husband, but she carried that same energy of still talking about it with everybody else. Left you the respect that you obviously don't believe is respect because she still talked about it. But it's something that everybody has been talking about, Kimmy. That's the whole thing for me. Why are you mad that she still decided to have conversations about it after she already gave you the understanding she wasn't going to talk about it with you anymore because you gave that feeling and energy you didn't want to talk about it? Like, it's not fair that you don't want nobody else to form an opinion about something your husband did, but y'all done the same thing to Melody and everybody else. Y'all never stay quiet about something that was sensitive and that maybe we need to not form our opinions in because we don't know the whole story. Absolutely not. Y'all kept egging things on, creating multiple narratives. So I don't understand why you feel like you're exempt from anybody else having their own opinions about your own husband getting a DUI and acting as if it wasn't something serious that he should have taken better actions about. So her still feeling upset about the lipstick comment and wanted Mel to answer why did she say that, but you already know her opinion about it. It was almost like you're questioning me as how dare I ask questions when I'm gonna ask questions. And since you've already had conversations with Tisha, with Tris about my opinion, there's no point in me repeating it. Cause it isn't. And it's not like you don't know how she felt before, Kimmy, because you were right there when she spoke to Maurice face to face about how it made her feel with the way he acted after the DUI. So you know how she feels. So it's not as if you're not aware of how she feels. It's not as if this is something out of nowhere that you didn't know she felt like this when you heard her say how it made her feel. So you getting mad about is something carrying on that you didn't want to be carried on, that's something you need to direct to your own husband. That he did something that made everybody question his behavior. That's something to take to Maurice, okay? Since you're still in the dark about what happened, you're mad about Melody creating something or questioning about what could happen versus then you asking your own husband yourself. And this is just repeated information. All Melody is doing is repeating information she found on social media. Also adding her own opinions about it because it affects her. So for me though, Kimmy, you need to direct this cavalier energy that you think Melody is having because she's not repeating what you already know. Talk to your husband. Okay? It's like, Kimmy, remember when you wanted to question why you didn't receive an invite to her name changing ceremony, an event that you thought it was corny? And you wanted to call her out because she still decided to share it on the internet because this is a part of her sharing her experience with her fans and explaining to you how you and Tisha are still married to men that are still friends with her ex-husband. She did not want it to be something to make fun of. She didn't want it to be something that y'all would have talked shit about. So she never invited y'all to it. So it's so funny for me to see Kimmy talk about Melody's a wordsmith and how Melody uses a bunch of words to get her point across. I'm like, are you describing yourself and your husband? Because your husband's a fucking wordsmith. All those words your husband have done to you in that kitchen when he wasn't being 100% forthright by telling you you don't know how you can possibly help him and avoiding him taking himself accountable for what occurred. And you, my dear, are using a whole bunch of different words instead of just directly asking Mel, can you not repeat the lipstick part? The lipstick part made me uncomfortable. Since I'm not really comfortable with the situation itself, adding that made me feel some type of way. You could have said that, and Melody could have been understanding from that point. But instead, you're taking your projection and deflection onto Mel about what she's not repeating. But I think that whether it's projection or deflection or passive aggressive or nice nasty, I'm on Mel doing it. I don't feel no type of way about Mel not keeping a buck towards you as if she hasn't before. Because all of this is from your husband. And I feel like the scenario itself is already being presented out there, Kimmy. Your husband got arrested in the middle of the day. He was gone all night. You didn't know where he was. You thought he was at work. Turns out he wasn't there. The situation speaks for itself about him possibly doing something he shouldn't be doing, a possible him messing around on you. All of that speaks for itself, in my opinion. And you need to ask him that question because you are saying, do you think that he's cheating? She said, yeah, it's not really for me to say. I don't have an answer for that. Go ask Maurice. Take your frustrations out on the man who put you in this situation. That's what Melly is telling you. Because you want to be like, well, I mean, if you got information, just let me know. Let me know. Melody don't have any information. The only information she has about what's being presented on social media, that's the information she have. Right now, the burning question you have in your mind is, what was he doing? Because when you found out he wasn't at work, I already know the burning questions and intuition you already having. You're just not being honest with yourself that you have it, okay? Because Melody is like, oh, baby, we all got an intuition. Now, instead of you telling me, oh, I shouldn't have said anything about the lipstick, what you should have said was, I know he didn't have red lipstick on his lips. I know he's not cheating on me, because that speaks volumes. And it do. You're questioning everybody else's opinion about something that your husband did, as if they're not supposed to, whether or not you asking yourself, what was he doing? Because that's where you're in the dark about. So right now, she's just trying to clear up that I am having my conversation with you about how it makes me feel. I'm not following behind anybody who says some things and just saying, yeah, that's what it was. No, my conversations are about my conversations with you about how it makes me feel, for my own opinion, for my own feelings. Okay. And Melody said, I understand your feelings matter. This conversation matters. And you will never hear any more conversations about Melody asking about no lipstick and no mugshot. Period, point blank. So since you didn't get the answer that you wanted, Melody did tell you, I am not going to repeat any more conversations about mugshot and lipstick. Absolutely not. Since you told me how that makes you feel, I'm not going to do it again. And that's it. That's all. I ain't got nothing else for it. And I was actually okay with it, though. Since Kimmy didn't get the answers that she thought she was going to get, since she thought that her questioning Melody about her going around asking questions about something her husband did, I don't have nothing to say. People can say it was Melody being passive aggressive. She's not keeping a buck. It's something that they've done to her all these seasons. So since this is something that has to do with your own situation, this has something to do with your own family dynamics, y'all gonna have to eat up with people having conversations. Y'all gonna have to eat up with people having questions like y'all done to her all these seasons. But that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more to give. Can't wait for next episode. But please stay tuned for next video and I'll see you guys later. Bye.